I'm a DJ, so I have to hold the microphone, in case you didn't know. Thank you, Beth. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Serrano, as she had mentioned. I am the son of Maria Serrano, who was a victim of domestic violence on June 25th of 2009, the same day Michael Jackson passed away. I would like to start out my speech by saying thank you to Beth and Mindy and the entire Berks staff for allowing me to be here today and share my mother's story. I would like to also recognize my family who is here in attendance today. When I say your name, please stand. My mother's twin sister, Carmen Rivera. Round of applause for her, please. My mother's niece, Jaritza Rivera. My mother's nephew, Cookie Kanai. My mother's niece, Carmen Kanai. My wife, Shirley Serrano. And my sister-in-law, Cheryl Arroyo. Thank you guys for coming. I love you, and I appreciate all of you. When you think about domestic violence, you automatically think about a man physically hurting a female. Well, in this case, my mother's partner used his strength to maintain control of her. He then destroyed her home, and he hurt her so bad that she had to be taken away in an ambulance. So let me tell you about the morning of June 25th. I was working as a security guard at Reading High School, and my cell phone rings. It's the neighbor of my mother. She didn't know English, so she said in Spanish that your mom's on fire. So I immediately hung up the phone. I drove from Reading High School all the way down Spring Street, probably ate every red light, and she lived on Lincoln Street on the northwest side of Reading. I think I got there in like 4 minutes. When I got to Lincoln Street, her entire block was flooded with ambulance, firefighters, detectives, police officers. I mean, you name it. Every law enforcement was flooded on the 800 block of Lincoln Street. They didn't even let me drive onto the block. I had to park a block away and rush to my mother's house, which was up in flames. When I got there, Detective Carasquillo pulled me to the side and said, they medevaced your mom to Lehigh Valley Hospital, which is the closest burn unit here from Berks County. In my mind, I said, I gotta get up there. He said, no, just take your time. They're gonna work on her. They're gonna, medically work on her, and you probably won't see her for a couple hours. So, being that I love my mom so much, I wanted to be by her side every second of the way. So, the morning of June 25th, the story goes like this. Her ex-boyfriend broke in her house through the basement, through the back door. He had lived with her for about a year, and he knew her routine in the morning. So once he broke in through the basement door, he heard her upstairs taking a shower, getting ready for work. He grabs, I'm gonna be kind of explicit and bold because I don't really see any kids here, so I'm going to go into depth about what happened because it's my job to spread awareness to everyone. Maybe someone in here is going through something right now. If you are, please speak up. So he goes up to the bathroom, she's taking a shower, he grabs her out of the shower, throws her onto her bed, he then rapes her. After he rapes her, he takes her by the hair with a screwdriver to her temple and takes her downstairs into the basement. In the basement, he then tied her up, not good, but he tied her up and proceeded to throw gasoline on her. Once the gasoline was on her, he then lit a match, threw it on her. She went up in flames. He sprinted out the back door. My mom had I can't even put into words about what she did that morning. She had enough energy to run up the steps, through the dining room, through the living room, out the front door. She then dove onto the ground in the grass. Everybody's taught stop, drop, and roll. She stopped, dropped, and rolled. She then knocked on the neighbor's door and told her to call 911. Now remember, I told you she doesn't know English, so she handed the phone to my mother, who is in flames. She talks to the 911 operator. You couldn't hire a top star actress in Hollywood to do what my mother did. She called 911. She explained everything about what happened, who did it to her, what his name was, what his birth date was, where he lives, and she's covered in flames. So once she gets to the hospital, the doctors told me that she was burned 60% of her body. So that means she was burned from like her ankles up to her chest. My mother had very long hair. When I got to see her for the first time, it was probably up to her ears because it burned off. So once she was medevaced, when she got into the ambulance, she also told the EMTs what this guy's name was, what his birthday was. She told him all the information. And then he then proceeded to tell authorities. So on the way to the hospital, in the helicopter, she kept asking the EMTs and the pilot, am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? I have to see my kids. I have to see my grandkids. That stuck with me for the last 13 years. So once she got to Lehigh Valley Hospital, they performed surgery on her, and then they put her in what is called a medically induced coma. So once it was my turn to go back into the hospital room to see my mother for the first time, they reduced her medication a little bit just so she could be able to hear my voice. And I know she heard my voice because I got to her hospital bed, I held her by her hand, and I said, Mom, it's Louis, I'm here. Please fight for us, please fight, you gotta get through this. And I know she heard me because a tear came down her eye right here, and I will never forget that. I know she heard me that day. So then when it was my turn to leave, and it was other family members to go back to see her, I stepped out in the hallway, and I just smiled because, like I said, I know she heard my last voice, my last sentence to her. So she survived in the hospital for 45 days. So just picture this, me leaving work and driving from Reading High School to Lehigh Valley Hospital every single day. It was like clockwork. And when you love someone that much, you go above and beyond for them. So my mother owes me about $2,000 in gas money. So unfortunately, after those 45 days, she passed away on August 8th, 2009 at 2:07 p.m. And myself and my family was able to be in the hospital room with her as she passed away, and the priest was saying a prayer for her. So I appreciate Lehigh Valley Hospital for doing that, because in the burn unit, you're only allowed 2 guests in the back with the patient. So I'm going to read the rest of my speech, but that's just the story about what happened to my mom. And once again, if you know anyone or yourself, a family member who is struggling with their relationship, please speak up. It could be unanimous. You can call Beth or Mindy at St. Berks. They do an excellent job of communicating with you and keeping in touch. So please reach out, please. So here's a little quick story about my mom. My mother was my best friend. No one could ever take her place. You only get one mom in life, so I'm telling you this from the bottom of my heart. If your mother is still with us on earth today, please do 3 things for me. If your mom is still here with us, number 1, call or text her every day. Because unlike me, your mom can be here one day and be gone the next. So please communicate with your mother every day if possible. Number 2, make sure you tell your mom you love her every day, because tomorrow's not promised. Your mom is the most special person in your life. I'm telling you this because she's not here with me anymore. And it hurts. It does. And number 3, treat your mom like a queen, because the old saying is, she brought you into this world and she can take you out. So, always treat your mom like a queen. There will never be anything so special to me than my mom, besides my wife and my 2 children. No one will ever know the strength of love I have for her. She's the only reason I can do this and stand in front of you people today. Thanks, Mom. It's my job to keep her legacy alive. I'm her voice today, tomorrow, and always. Until my last breath, I will always speak about my mom to anyone. Anyone that wants to talk to me about my mom, I will share anything and everything about her with you, because that's how special she was to me. So in conclusion, I would like to say something to my mother, who's definitely listening above. Mom, I hope you're proud of me. I hope you're smiling down at me. I hope you believe deep in your heart that I'm capable of keeping our family together just like you did. I promise to continue letting the world know what an amazing, wonderful, warm, loving, and super crazy at times human being you were. When it comes to my mom, I'm gonna tell you this: God gave me the best. God gave me the best mom ever. So on that note, I just want to thank everybody for coming. It's a packed house. I love that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. God bless everybody here. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louis.